Namaste. Welcome back for our first Real Talk. Real Talk is an opportunity to talk about subjects that we all have to go through. Yes, we do yoga, but we all are human and we all go through struggles and are dealing with the similar things in life. So this is an opportunity to talk about some of my experiences in life and to shed some light on some things. So here we go. The first thing that I want to talk about today is getting taken advantage of. This is something that happens all the time. Doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing. It's probably happened to you at least once in your life. You've felt this happen, and it's not a good feeling when you realize that it's going on. And so I'm going to give 3 tips as to how you can prevent getting taken advantage of, because it makes you feel miserable. Nobody likes this, and it's not right anyway. So let me first tell you a story of one of my experiences getting taken advantage of. And every time I recall this story, it makes me cringe, but it is a really good example. I went to college for film video, and as you might not know or might know, it is extremely difficult to get a job working on a movie set, a TV set, and it's really hard to break into. And if you are a young person and everyone was a young person, you're trying to get a job, and you sometimes are willing to go to extreme lengths to get one. So I was out of college recently and looking for a job in this field, really excited to get started with it. And I was in New York City, reached out to a production company and scheduled an interview with them. It was a very small one, but you know, when you're looking, anything is good. So I went to do this interview and interviewed with an older man who went through the interview process, and then at the end happened to mention that they were actually painting one of the studios tomorrow, and if I had some time to come paint the studio with them, and maybe remarked some kind of comment about, you know, working with them and getting a job. So of course I was in a position where I was staying a couple of nights in New York City, and I would be there tomorrow. And so long story short, I ended up painting a studio for a production company in New York City, hoping that maybe I would be able to get a job from doing this. And in the end, I did not end up with a job with this company. I ended up with a pair of sneakers that had paint all over them that I had to get rid of, and lost water bottle, one of my absolute favorites, that I happened to leave there. And when I contacted them about returning it, that was never going to happen. So that was one of my very unfortunate stories of getting taken advantage of. And I feel like this happens a lot with people that might be in a situation that's kind of desperate, i.e. young people that need a job, out of college, have a lot of debt. We see this with internships, which is a great way to take advantage of young people that need to get a start. And there's many other things. It's not just with young people looking to start their careers. There's many other options, and feel free to share any of those in the comments below with people. But aside from that, the reality is this stuff happens, and we need to know some ways to prevent this from happening to us. The first way that I think would be extremely helpful is to know what you want out of a situation. If it's an exchange with someone else, know what you want to get out of it. Take a moment to step back. If you're in the middle of talking to them and you don't feel like you know exactly what you want to get out of it or what you want, just stop the conversation, let them know that you'll have to get back to them, and take some time to think about what you want to get out of the situation. If it's a relationship that you're building, if you're a business owner and you're talking with someone else, take some time to think about what you want out of it, because sometimes it is a misunderstanding even, not enough communication, that kind of thing, that leads you in the end to feel like you were taken advantage of. So the first step is to know what you want. I wanted to get a job, and I thought maybe that would be a good way to get into it, and it ended up not being good. So know what you want is the first step. And the second is to always have a written agreement. An email, like I just stated, communication is essential. You want to make sure that you're on the same page with the person that you're dealing with in a situation where you feel like they might be taking advantage of you. And this can apply especially to businesses, but even everyday kind of things. If you're agreeing to do this or that, just if you have a phone conversation afterwards, maybe just email the person and say, so I'm going to do this and you're going to do this, or whatever the case may be, and I'm just wanting to make sure we're on the same page. So I think those things are extremely important to make sure that you know what you want, what the other person wants from you, what you want from the other person. These are extremely important. And a lot of the times, I know personally, I feel very trusting. Like, you want to trust people. You really want to feel like they have your best interests in mind, but unfortunately, you need to look at it a little bit differently and say, I need to make sure that I have my best interests in mind first and foremost. And so that can get a little tricky. My personality is very much like, I just want to trust everyone and it'll be okay, and that kind of thing. And you just need to make sure, and I feel like especially yogis have a tendency to just trust each other's word and that kind of thing, and it can get really complicated. It's important to just communicate clearly with everybody that you're dealing with. Lastly, you want to value yourself and your time. I feel like this is really the root of the problem. Everything that happens to us in our life is a reflection of us, let's be honest. So what you need to do is just learn to create a feeling of value for yourself and your time. We have all come across the person that is so set on their time is worth this much money and don't even talk to me otherwise. We've all come across those kind of people in dealing with businesses and life and all that kind of stuff in general, and they're very adamant. They know exactly what they want. If they're not getting this, see you later, that kind of deal. And it's good to be like that, because when you are like that, you set expectations for yourself, and then other people will expect that from you as well. I know it's so easy to just be like, oh, I'll do this, and if you don't have any boundaries, people are going to be walking all over your yard. It's just like if you have a fence, people are going to go around your fence, maybe up your walkway if you have one. If you don't have a walkway, you don't have a fence, you just have grass and your front door's over there, people are going to be walking all over the place. They're going to create lots of different trails through your yard. One will take this way, one will take this way, one might hang around a little bit and grill on your property a while until they get to your door. So you really just want to make sure that you have the idea of your values and that you are valuable, your time is valuable, and just to make sure that that is priority. And this can come up in being taken advantage of, for instance, in relationships even. Like if you have friends or family members that are always calling you up to do this and that for them, it's a similar kind of situation, and we just need to take a moment to realize that we are valuable and have a certain amount of self-confidence. Another one might be if you're a teenager in a relationship and there's a more dominant person in the relationship, and that can be a similar situation as well. It all starts with confidence and valuing yourself. And once you are able to get to that level where you value yourself very strongly and value your time and your efforts, then other people will recognize that and realize that they can't do that. So I think that is the three most important things that you want to remember. Know what you want. Communication is very important. Get it written down. Make sure everyone understands what's going on. And then lastly, the root of the problem is that you need to make sure you are working on your self-confidence and also valuing yourself and your time. And yoga is a great way to practice these kind of things. You just can do a mantra simply, like one of my Motivational Monday videos where we practice mantras, because we believe what we say to ourselves. So if we were brought up in an environment that wasn't very positive, this is something that we're going to have to learn. And you can teach yourself this. You just need to realize that you are a valuable person, an amazing person with a lot of great qualities and traits, and other people will start to realize that as well once you believe in yourself. So you could say a mantra if you're meditating or going through your yoga practice. I am valuable, I am worthwhile, I am strong, I love myself, all these kind of positive affirmations. And the more you repeat them, the more you will start to believe them. So sometimes it might feel a little phony at first if you don't really agree with these things, but the more you go over these things, the more it will become reality. So those are my tips for not getting taken advantage of. And please share in the comments anything else that you have found helpful that you might do, strategies, tips. Share an experience that you might have had with us as well. We would love to hear it. And if you have any questions for me, or if you have something else that you would like me to address in the Real Talk videos, let me know. Until next time, Yogi Nation, I will see you later. Have a great day. Namaste.